everyone, and welcome to Consciousness Rising Zimbabwe and beyond. My name is Tania Norris, and I'll be your host today. As you know, this is a platform where you can come and we interview people that are doing great things in their own capacity and also in their communities. We also interview people with alternative ideas on current affairs, on health, on spirituality, on food. So if you are an open-minded and curious person, then this is the place to come and check us out. You know, they always say that an open heart and an open mind is the key to awareness. But I also feel that curiosity is a big key to awareness. Because when we stop being curious, we tend to shrink. We're not expanding anymore. And I love to say to people, stretch yourself. Okay, it's quite irritating. Some people find that irritating, but it's the truth, because we all know that when we stretch our bodies, it's good for us. So therefore, if we're stretching our minds, our imaginations, our belief systems, then this is just adding to our stretched consciousness. So I just say to people, carry on being curious and carry on stretching yourself. It'll take us all a long way. Today, I have with me somebody who is really going to stretch your mind, and her name is Cheryl Coetzee. And Cheryl is a body talk practitioner, amongst other things. And under the umbrella of body talk, we have body talk access, matrix dynamics, macrocosmic body mind, principles of consciousness, animal healing. She also does kinesiology for weight loss and emotional aroma therapy. So that's quite a long list. Welcome, Cheryl.
Hi, it's so good to be here, Tania. Looking forward to talking to Zimbabwe.
Yes, I know. We've had a few technical challenges here, Cheryl. So this is our third attempt, I think, doing the interview.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, we press on and we're vigilant. So now, okay, so Cheryl, people are going to want to know, what is body talk, and how did you get onto that journey of healing and exploration?
Okay, Tania, so I'll start with how I got to know about body talk. My husband was having a few chest pains, and we had no diagnosis after taking him to Joburg and having all the tests done. And then he was sort of diagnosed, I'm just saying sort of diagnosed with internal shingles. And after 4 years, again, it happened again. But this time it was more serious, and he had a lot of sort of paralysis at one side. He was having sort of tingles, and we just said, no, we've got to take you back again, because he said this time it's seriously a heart attack. Another week in Joburg, and still no diagnosis. So eventually a friend of mine came over to visit, and she just said, listen, Cheryl, my daughter did body talk in Durban. Why don't you give it a try? So of course I was like, yeah, whatever that is. She says, look on internet and then just see and speak to this one person who was my instructor, which I did. And that was like the Wednesday. And I was on the plane to Durban on the Friday to do the body talk course. And I still didn't know what this was about. I had no idea. I was like absolutely clueless, because it was such a quick decision that I like, okay, well, I didn't have time to really go into it. But if you knew who I really was, I'm just sort of like I wasn't into that energies and sort of out of the box thinking. I was straight down, very rigid, and just live by the book, literally. So I get to Durban and I meet all the ladies, and you know what, Tania, it was such an amazing experience, because for me, I've always been told how to do something, what to do, and pretty much judgmental. And I sat in this room with people that from all walks of life, and all religions, all nationalities, okay? And I was like thinking, okay, so there's Jews and there's Christian and there's Muslim and Buddhist and Islam and what? Okay, we all together, which felt really good, especially when my instructor said to me, the first rule when you do body talk is there's going to be no judging. And looking around the room, I realized, right, that's it. That says it all. No judging. So I took it back and I worked on my husband, because after doing the course, you need to do 50 case studies and, practice quite a lot to certify. And I worked on him. Tania, I'd love to say it was a miracle, but I know this is what made me believe, and him, and what Body Talk would do, because he never had another chest pain, even though he still wasn't diagnosed with anything. We were in awe. Wow, okay, this stuff works. It really, really works.
Did you ever get to
the
bottom of what is wrong with what was creating it?
Yes. Okay, so that's going to take me to what Body Talk is all about.
Okay.
So Body Talk is a consciousness-based healthcare system. It was founded by John Valtime, a chiropractor in Australia. He had martial arts, energetics, kinesiology, and he got really, really sick. So he got Epstein-Barr's, and the doctor said to him, well, you might as well just do your bucket list, because your liver is not going to hold out. Sorry, that's all we can do for you. So John, who was, had all these modalities under his belt, and he decided, no, I'm going to do something about this. And that's where Body Talk developed. He healed himself with a technique called body chemistry. I'll get back to that later, because it's probably my most favorite technique in Body Talk. It just works every time. I mean, I've got so many stories. I'm so excited. I could just go on. I know I'm limited to time, but anyway, so with a Body Talk, do you want me to carry on and let you know how I operate from when a client walks in?
Let's do that, and also a little bit about how it works, because I think you're working a lot with the actual body, aren't you? With the muscles in the body, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Well, no, not really. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. It's like innate wisdom the client's innate wisdom speaks to me. So when I use a muscular biofeedback and I use their arm slightly, just getting a yes and no, then I will go through, I don't know if you can see behind me, there's a protocol chart. So that whole chart is my client's body mind. So I will start from the top and work through the whole body slowly but surely, just testing yes and no. So my yes is sort of lighter, and my no is heavier on the arm. And when I get to an organ, say it's a heart, it'll be lighter. So say yes. And then I would go to a link. So every organ, endocrine, body part, system, everything is linked up. But the main reason to any problem or any sort of ailment that a client might have is an environmental problem or a belief system. And that will then be linked to an orientation. So I have gone into like my toolbox, which is called Mindscape. And I will use that. That is something us body talkers use a lot. And we will go through every single environmental charge that could have affected my client. And so I will just anxiety, depression,
so you have
these emotions.
You have like a chart, you have a chart or a list where you go through, is it this, is it that? Or do you just make it up? Do you just
Yes,
think on the
yes.
moment? Could it be?
No, no. So what happens is we are trained to use, most of us use our left brain, which is our knowledge, and we train our left brain. So we've got to learn this protocol chart off my heart.
Okay.
And then our right brain clicks in, and that's our intuition. So when our intuition clicks in and connects with my client's innate wisdom, I can work out which parts of the body are not synchronizing. So every single part of the body needs to synchronize for a person to be healthy. So if someone comes in with a sore knee and I sort of start working with them, I might not necessarily get to the knee because we look at priority. We don't have an agenda at all. So the body will tell me there's a deeper problem with an emotion or an environmental factor that I need to get to the bottom of and bring it to the surface. So we are looking at a person, our complete focus and awareness is on my client at all times. There's no agenda at all. I can't suddenly decide, okay, I'm going to fix that, because then I'm just working with intention, not attention.
Okay.
So what I love about this whole modality is that it's a story of your life. It really, literally, the minute you are born with a few bits and pieces from your past, from your ancestors, not your past, from your ancestors. And you can bring that through life, and you can sort of like do things in life and think, well, that doesn't happen in our family. Why is that, that happening now? And it sort of goes back with it is another technique called the eighth chakra. And we can go back to your ancestors, to your great, 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 great grandmother on your father or mother's side, and pick up that phobia or that fear or that anger management or that alcoholic problem that you might have. And we can sever it or cut it or disassociate it with a matrix. So it's very interesting. There's never a dull moment, ever.
I can imagine.
So sometimes when I'm actually working with someone, I'm like, what? I can't doubt it, because my intuition and my innate is working with my client's innate. So you just have to take whatever comes up.
So then at the end of it, the person who comes with the knee problem, and you don't get to the knee problem, but you clear all the other issues, do you find sometimes that helps actually to clear the knee problem? Using that as an analogy.
Absolutely, Tania. Absolutely. You know what's so funny? It's hysterical, because they have to fill in a form when they first come and see me, and all the sort of ailments and the medications and all their sort of feelings and environmental problems. And after 3 or 4 sessions, they look back and they've forgotten about what they first came in for, because there's so many other things. And it's just like mind-blowing, actually. That's how I can describe it. So when a client first comes in, I've got an iceberg analogy, and the iceberg, which is 10% out of the water, is your consciousness, and the 90% underneath is your subconscious. So basically, we are working on that subconscious and bringing it out, and then just releasing it. So the most important part of our healing, or the healing of Body Talk, is the tapping and the breathing. So after I have gone through the whole body mind, and we've linked and we've made up like a formula, sort of look at it like a maths formula, and I will have a technique for every single formula that comes up. And with that technique, like with body chemistry, let's go back to body chemistry, which is toxins, viruses, bacteria,
Mm-hmm.
intolerances, allergies, then I will do this technique. And for some reason, and I know every time it works because it helped me with the virus I had, the client is basically walks out and feels a lot better. Yellow jaundice, I had a client that I did the distance session with that body chemistry technique, and wow, it was like phoned me that next morning and said, what did you do? You know, I'm feeling like amazing. So this is what it's all about. It's up to awareness, getting a link to all the different parts of the body, making a formula, and then tapping it out with tapping and breathing, which I'd like to demonstrate to you later. When you sorry,
that's great. We love demonstrations.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So basically, when you are tapping and breathing, it's the best part of this is it's waking up your brain, because basically you've got three brains. You've got your head brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain, and they're all talking. So everything needs to work in synchronicity. So when I tap on your head brain, I'm saying I'm initiating whatever I have found in the body. So it's sort of initiating that. Then I'm tapping on the heart brain, saying store, and then the gut brain to release it. And while I'm doing that, I'm telling the person to breathe in. So when you're breathing, you're scanning. When you're breathing in, the frequencies go higher up. And then when you breathe out, the frequencies go lower down. So we start on the back of the head and we work 4 positions over the top of the head and 2 on the side. So when I tell my clients, okay, so put your hand at the back of the head and you're breathing in while you're tapping over both hemispheres. And then you tap the sternum, breathing out. And then you tap the gut.
Yeah. Breathing out. Yeah.
Out and breathing out there. Then where your small finger ends, you put your thumb. And then you use this hand and you tap over the top, breathing in and breathing out. So every position, you do it twice. And then the next position is over the top of your head. And then you tap over your hand, breathing in, breathing out. And then the front. And you do that twice. And then you go to your temporal and you take your hand off and you tap over the top again. And the other side. So you've covered your whole brain.
Okay,
so this is what we call the cortices. That's one technique out of the 15 or so. And I've got to tell you a story about the cortices. When it hadn't been long with my training, and we were on a plane back from Kenya, and they called for a doctor. And they said, is there a doctor on board? So I was sort of dozing, and I stirred, and my husband said, no, don't you dare. And I said, yeah, I can. So I got up and I went to the back, and this man had collapsed. He was face down. And I got people to help me roll him over, and I did the cortices on him. Now that's our fast aid. It's called fast aid, our emergency. And this man got up, drank some water, literally got up and drank water and sat down on his seat. So it's amazing how effective the techniques that we do are, but our body, our innate, our bodies heal themselves. You know, we can make something come to awareness, you know, and then the body heals itself. It's just, it's amazing.
So that's
but I also want to...
Sorry, Cheryl, the Coetzee technique, if we're feeling low energy, if we're feeling out of balance, or anything like that, or we need a pick-me-up, we can actually do that, what you've just shown us. It's for anything.
Absolutely, Tania. Anything. If you're feeling angry, you know, if you're in the car and you're sitting in a queue, or someone's just really made you mad, just do the Coetzees. If you're on the toilet, it's just, people have forgotten to breathe as well. So this teaches people to breathe properly. And really, I teach my clients to go into like a type of meditation, doing their Coetzees, and just feel the breath going in and out, and just in and out, breathing slowly and filling your lungs. And then, you know, all the emotions that are sort of in the, that's where every organ and every endocrine and body part is attached to an emotion. So that's why when we do the environmental release, that normally helps with some part of the liver, or the kidney, or the back, the shoulders carrying too much. So yeah, everything is related to an emotion. The other technique I'd like to talk about is hydration. This is fascinating because when I pick it up, my client will say, no, I drink lots of water. I really, really do. I'm very good at drinking water. But with the stress levels and all that goes on in our lives and all our belief systems, water has to be able to move freely across all the cell membranes in both directions. And it's normally the nerve transmission that's starved of water, muscle contraction, free radicals, lung function, which is asthma, energy conductors, synthesis of emotions, rejuvenation of skin. It just goes on and on and on. And sort of a body talker can pick those up and help rehydrate a person very well, instantly.
And that is by using a technique.
All techniques, yeah. We've got the switching technique, which is quite something that's happening today. Every one of us has a switching sort of mechanism in our brain, and then when that is overtaxed, then I need to do the switching technique to help them cope with, you know, everyday life. And it's pretty hard today, but there's a technique for everything. Another very interesting technique is when people have scars. So, you know, our fascia is like it's a whole fascia. It just holds everything together. And when we've got a scar, I'll always find a block in our chi. So the flow of circulation with the blood and the lymph and the nerves, they are, you know, not flowing properly. So the meridian energy and the fascia, which is the connective tissue, it needs to be balanced. So it's all balanced, like a symphony. If you went to an orchestra and one of the strings had to snap, it wouldn't sound very nice. So that's exactly like our bodies. If just one thing is out of sync, then everything else is going to battle to talk to each other.
Okay, but now my next question is, but does it stick? Like you say, if there's a scar, you can do something and get the circulation flowing. Does it continue to flow? Or does that block come
absolutely back? No, because it's always got an attachment. There's always an emotional attachment which will come up at that time when I do that technique. So that is released, whatever that person is going through. And sometimes it's I just have to giggle, because sometimes we go back I was actually called a witch the other day, which I laughed in a friendly way, and because with the mindscape, I can tell sometimes something that happened in a year in say 2002, and it is connected to a female person, and they're just like, how did you know? And it says that your body is telling me with your innate wisdom, and I've trained my left brain, so my right brain connects and goes into the zone, and then we can work together with the person. And that
we can all do that, can't we, really? But we're just not trained or
absolutely
disciplined or rehearsed enough to do that.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I would recommend Mindscape to anybody and everybody that can possibly do it. Businesses, school children, anyone that, even homemakers, secretarial, just everyday life, to be able to go into that alpha state and just connect. Like, can I just mention Mozart? He wrote a whole orchestra in his Mindscape, in his alpha state. And Nikola Tesla, he also designed the electric motor in his mind. Then we've got Thomas Edison with the light bulb, all in a relaxed state of mind. And then I'd like to just read something from Albert Einstein. He says, the rational mind is a faithful servant. Intuitive mind is a sacred gift. We have created a society that honors the servant and forgotten the gift. So
very powerful. But even Albert Einstein,
if I can awaken people.
Yeah, sorry, there seems to be a delay in this thing. But anyway, Albert Einstein, he's one of my favorites because he also talks a lot about if you cannot find the solution to a problem, go for a walk. And while you're walking, look away from it, forget about it. And when you've looked away from it, this is when the solution comes, which, as you're saying, is getting into that alpha state.
Yes, absolutely. So basically with the Mindscape, it's also a whole lot of techniques, and you build up a workshop, which again, you've got rooms for everything. So we've had famous sportsmen going into their Mindscape to train if they can't train, if the weather's bad, or if they've got an injury, or if you're flying from one country to the other, you can train, and you will not lose your fitness. I take my clients into my healing room, or when I'm studying, I go into my library, and it is phenomenal. It really is. It really does work. And with my upbringing, this is something I would never ever have done, ever. It would have been definitely a no-no.
Well, obviously
it
the
has
universe
changed my life.
Yeah, you obviously were meant to do it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come across your path.
Exactly, I know. It's just
Cheryl,
like
Cheryl,
when I was a
can you teach that? Can you teach that Mindscape? I mean, where can people learn? Do they sign up for courses? How do we get into that?
Okay, so there's a course on Zoom for the first time at the end of June, and it's a woman from Cape Town called Dale Fox. So I did post the link on both your groups, but I can repost it. Yes, so there's two courses. There's one which is sort of like the beginning course when you build your workshop, and then you do the advanced one, which is Beyond Right Brain. And that's
how many hours? How many hours would that kind of training be? I mean, even if it's
2 days.
Okay, all right.
2 days. 2 days. So you can, but a lot of practice though. You need to do it daily. You've got to get up and go into your Mindscape. You can go there, when people are feeling really, really lost, you can go and find your way, just going by and inviting someone who's appropriate for that situation, asking them to help you in a decision making, anything like that. You can just go into your Mindscape and ask for the appropriate person. I mean, I don't know do you play golf?
No. I will never play golf.
Well, you can ask anyone that knows me. I've got a hole in one by going into my mindscape and asking for the appropriate person to help me. And I tell you, people are like flabbergasted. They said, no ways. There's no ways. We've been working for a hole in one all our life.
Yeah, you did it like that. But you know what I love about this, Cheryl, is that, you know, in our metaphysical fields, we've been learning those kind of things. You go into your imagination, you find your happy place, you call in whoever you need. You know what I mean? This really goes right back to the ancient mystery schools. Okay, so on that level,
Yes.
now they're bringing all of this into a lot into sport. I know that, and a lot into business. You know, teaching.
Yes.
and like
Yes.
this lady as well. So I always love those crossovers. You know, when we're taking these
Yes. Yeah.
and repackaging it maybe, but absolutely, I know that stuff works. I use it myself often.
Yeah. Okay, so Dale Fox is also doing children's mindscape, and it helps them go into like helping learning disabilities, concentration, studying better, being more alert. And it's just, I just think it's a tool that anyone that can do it should do it. It advances your whole thinking. It really does. It's enhanced creativity, a more relaxed yet alert state of mind, heightens your intuition, which we've all forgotten about. We know, you know, that sort of says that Jiminy Cricket, your conscious, don't do it. And we've forgotten how to listen to that, because that gut feeling is yes. It is yes. Listen to that.
Well, okay, now Cheryl, so if people want to get hold of you, obviously I'm going to put in all of your information and your links below here below this interview in the description. But you do operate from town. I know you don't always live in Harare, but you are here a few days in the week. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes, I am. So I'm normally coming up, depends on my clients. Some people need to see me different days, which suit them. So I normally come up like Tuesdays to Thursdays. And if there's something going on, then I extend it. I'm very flexible. And at distance sessions, if I'm not there, distance sessions work just as well.
Okay, no, that's great. So I see that our internet connection is becoming unstable again. So I think let us wrap this up. What we can do is maybe have another conversation in the future, because there's so many other things that we haven't even got to. You know, like the emotional aromatherapy and the kinesiology, weight loss, and those things. So we'll talk about that at another time. But Cheryl, thank you so much. I'm definitely coming for a session with that. Obviously, I have a problem, like a shoulder problem, but we might never get to the shoulder problem. So I'll be seeing you soon. And thank you so much for your time. And please post those links on where and alternative news and on our YouTube channel as well.
Thank you, Tania. Loved talking to you. Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming. And everybody else, thank you so much for joining us again. And as I say every time, please share this, because you never know who this is going to resonate with. You heard Cheryl's story there, where her husband was suffering and somebody just happened to mention, and that probably saved his life, and it set you on a whole journey. So just by sharing these things is vitally important. Please let us know your comments, your opinions, and stay well, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thanks, Tania.
Bye.